probation curfew of 10 p.m., but only because his job made him work until 11. Once out of prison, he cleaned up his life, but he had a hard time finding a new job given that he had to check the box on any job application to indicate that he was a felon. He went to school to learn about computers and then opened up a computer repair shop. Since I can't get a job, I'll just make my job. So if any of you guys need laptops repaired, iPad screens replaced, I do a lot of those. I do cell phones as well, he quipped. He then talked about his physical therapy degree, noting that his clinical exams were coming up. Part of that process included a background check, and I'm sweating bullets about what would come back. All of that work I've done may be going down the tubes, he lamented. I've bared this cross for a long time, he testified. I know I made a mistake. I think I've paid for that mistake 4 times over. I'm not a criminal. I was a stupid kid and made a stupid mistake. 4 minutes later, Powell was done. His short statement would reverberate across the state, impacting thousands of Kentucky felons. Republican Senator Whitney Westerfield was in the hearing room that day. He listened intently as Powell gave his testimony. Westerfield is a pro-law enforcement conservative who ran unsuccessfully for Kentucky Attorney General in 2015. He was initially opposed to allowing felons to seek an expungement of their records, and he thought that nothing would change his mind. Why should someone who had violated the social contract and committed a crime be given any leniency? Yet, as Senator Westerfield listened to Powell's story, something stirred inside of him. Something clicked. He changed his mind on the spot. He texted a fellow Republican, "If I'm still here in January after the next election, then we are going to make this happen." Westerfield became an unlikely advocate for Powell's cause. As Westerfield explained to the media, "This guy has done what we ask everybody in the justice system to do. Correct the behavior and don't do it again. We ought to be able to help that guy." He continued, "This isn't about Powell. It's about the nearly 100,000 others like him across Kentucky that can benefit from this hope-giving, redemption-providing bill." The bill passed in 2016, and Powell and thousands like him are now eligible to have their records expunged and regain their right to vote. Kentucky officials must follow through by making the administrative process quick and seamless for eligible individuals. Reflecting on this effort a few years later, Powell remembers being mostly worried about his physical therapy exams at the time, but he now recognizes the impact he had on the most important right in our democracy, the right to vote. In particular, he considered how our elected leaders don't necessarily reflect the full electorate because so many people are cut out of the system. If you have only one section of the population voting, he told me, then politicians only hear their voice. This can lead to skewed representation and skewed policies. West Powell secured an expungement of his record and finished his physical therapy degree. He has voted in every election since. "It gives me a voice," he told me. "I'm not just a silent person anymore who can't participate in the voting process. They can't ignore me anymore. Somebody has to speak to me now to get my vote. I'm a voter, so show me what you have to offer." It's time to take back our democracy, one voter and one inspiring story at a time. "Oh no," you might be saying to yourself, "not another book that clamors for us to rise up or resist, using broad platitudes with few practical solutions. Do we really need someone else arguing for seemingly impossible changes to our democracy without providing real-life guidance on how to make it happen?" This is not that book. It instead offers a different path, explaining how to reform our democracy from the ground up through the stories of individuals who are already seeing success. Positive voting rights enhancements at the state and local levels can fundamentally change American elections. These new election rules expand voter eligibility, improve the voter registration process, and make voting more convenient and more reflective of the public's will. Some states have eased their rules on felon disenfranchisement. A few localities have expanded the voter rolls, allowing high school students to vote in local elections and creating a new generation.